in consolidating on democratic gains. President Buhari assures Nigerians of more gains with the next level agenda. We'll bring you details of this in a subsequent news belt. It was a message of hope and prosperity for Nigerians in the new year as thousands gathered for the 2019 State House Christmas Carol. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that some of the dignitaries commended the Buhari administration for steering the nation towards a greater future. All right, we'll bring you details of that shortly or in our subsequent news belts. Now, moving on, highways are busier than earlier in the year. Reasons not far-fetched, the fast approaching Christmas celebration and New Year. Their lives just as important to their loved ones is also important to the Federal Road Safety Corps, and that is why the Corps is intensifying efforts in ensuring zero road crash during the Yuletide with the code name Operation Zero Tolerance of Road Crashes. The Corps will be enforcing penalties on drivers without licenses, worn-out tires, lane indiscipline, amongst others. So Yemi Ajay has details.
The highway busier than earlier in the year. Reasons not far-fetched. The fast approaching Christmas celebration and New Year. Yes, the celebration are fast approaching. But cars too fast and drivers without required papers will not be getting greeting cards from the FRSC. Yellow and red cards will be enforced during the operation with the codename Operation Zero Tolerance for Road Crashes.
We are not going to allow vehicles to be overloaded. We pass such vehicles, we give them citations, and they have to look for another vehicle to transfer the excess before they can continue the journey. We are collaborating with the state traffic management agencies to ensure we have 18 state traffic management agencies now. So we are working with them to ensure that they focus on the urban areas and some areas on the highways where we need assistance, we'll be able to call them. And I want to warn road users that with the issue of those who do not have their driver's license will not be allowed to be on the road. So that no number plates will not be allowed to be on the road.
While the Corps is working to achieve zero road crashes in line with the United Nations Decade of Action for Road Safety, which has just a year to wind up, 77 of its patrol operatives got the brunt of road indiscipline as they were knocked down by recalcitrant drivers, with 10 of them paying the ultimate price. The Federal Road Safety Corps statistics reveal that between January to October 2019, a total of 9,698 road crashes were involved, and out of which about 4,737 people died. 604 trailers and 296 tankers were also involved in accidents. With more enlightenment and partnerships, especially with the leaderships of different motor parks, as well as heavy deployment of personnel across the country, the FRSC says its men are determined to help road users from takeoff to destination for a Yuletide without tears. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
And with me in the studio is Assistant Corps Marshal Umar Guntu Ibrahim, Zonal Commander Officer in charge of the FCT and the Niger Sector Command, to shed more light on this. Thank you very much, Umar Ibrahim. Thank you for coming on the program, Marshal.
Thank you, madam.
All right, first of all, let's begin with the thing that you have for this period, and that's on Operation Zero Tolerance on Road Crashes. Is it across the country or it's just in the FCT?
And thank you so much. This preparation goes across the country.
Okay.
Yes. Even though each state has its own peculiar situations.
Okay.
Apart from that, and the national headquarters prepared a zero tolerance program that every state key in addition to what they have at hand.
All right, there seemed to be a high presence of your men around the FCT, just driving around the FCT the last couple of days. Every turn, you see an FCT official. And I began to wonder, like, after the Yuletide, will it still be that way, or this is just for this season?
You see, what is going on, we have changed plans entirely.
Okay.
Now, this time, what we have made, we want traffic to meet us there.
Yeah.
And we have started this thing long ago, so that our motorists, the motoring public, will be prepared
Okay.
And they know what we want. They know very well what we don't want.
Okay.
So that before the unit tile, everybody will be abreast of the totality of what we want.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, like, okay, what are the penalties? Because I'm aware that, for every offense, before now and around this time, there'll be penalties. What are the penalties? What are the range of penalties we're looking at this period?
The penalties has not changed.
Okay.
It's the same penalties.
Okay.
But we have some major infraction that we are looking into.
What are those major infractions?
Yes, at this period, we are looking at the life-threatening offenses. Those offenses, we see them as the ones that are causing major death on our road.
Okay.
So we handle them first, such as using phone while driving. It's a complete distraction to use phone. That's what we are saying.
Let's clarify that. When you say using phone while driving, there was just an issue not too long ago about the use of Google Map while driving. So let's also clarify that. When you say use of phone, are we talking of making calls or trying to use your Google Map to get direction? Is that an offense?
Anything that involves the driver taking his phone to do something with it is use of phone while driving. That distracts his driving. And anything that distracts driving can cause any form of accident.
Okay.
Yes.
So now we're looking at, the United Nations Decade of Action of 2020. That's just next year here. So what are your plans to ensure that within now and then, you are able to also achieve that goal?
We have gone far with the pillars
Yeah.
of the United Nations Decade of Action. All the pillars, primarily, we have achieved them.
Okay.
Even the reduction, 50% reduction in crashes, we have gone far with that one.
Okay.
And we are sure of getting at our target because we have achieved much of it.
All right. So finally, what advice do you have for Nigerians that are traveling this period, those that will still be within their cities, plying the roads? What advice do you have for them?
I want to start with a clarion call, particularly with the people that are in the city. Yes. Before they get onto the highway, at the city, what is disturbing us is the rule of the traffic. At that traffic light, there is a rule to be followed. But what we are seeing in the city here is entirely different. Before the traffic light, there is zebra crossing, where the pedestrians are supposed to cross the road. Then before that zebra crossing, there is a stop line. Motorists are supposed to stop before the stop line.
Okay.
Before the stop line, not on the stop line, not on the zebra crossing, not near the
Traffic light.
Even not after the traffic light. What we are seeing in the city here, you will see motorists passing the traffic light and stopping, then waiting for those that are behind them to use their horn to tell them traffic light has allowed them to go. Then on the major highway, what we are seeing is excessive speeding and excessive overloading. That is what we want to handle. For the overloading, both human and goods overloading, the one that disturbs us here in the north is the carrying of passengers on top of overloaded vehicles. It's modern Nigeria, it's modern country. You will never see this type of attitude elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's only in Nigeria, even in Nigeria here in the north, that you will see people sitting on top of cows. What happened? If there is a check, it means the people will be thrown away.
Yeah.
Now, there is another scenario in this matter. You see in other places, more drivers carrying passengers in the boot, along with goat and the sacks. Yeah, that is this human. Is humanizing our people, and it's not allowed. So carrying passengers in the boot, even if it is one person, is equally the same as carrying plenty people in that vehicle, and the offense is the same.
All right.
10,000.
Thank you very, very much. That's a lot. 10,000 naira.
10,000 for overloading.
All right. Thank you very much, Assistant Corps Marshal Omar Ibrahim, Zonal Commanding Officer in charge of the FCT Niger Sector Command. Thank you for coming on the program to shed more light on what you're doing this season to keep Nigerians safe.
Thank you,
so
madam.
much.
Thank you.
All right. We'll take a short break now. It's an abridged version of Panorama. We'll be back with some stories.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Welcome back. You're watching Panorama on the network service of the NTA. Now, in furtherance of the objectives for initiating Operation Rattlesnake, the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Adole has destroyed some more logistic facilities belonging to the Islamic State of West Africa in the northern part of Borno State. In a statement, Director of Public Relations and Information Air Commodore Ibukunle Daramola explained that this was recorded at Bakari, an island settlement within the Lake Chad Green Fringes, when Nigerian Air Force nav jets attacked and destroyed some compounds where the ISWAP logistics stores were kept. The target locations were seen to erupt into flames upon impact of the aircraft's munitions. Operation Rattlesnake, which was specifically initiated to neutralize some pre-designated insurgents camps and logistics facilities, is a precursor to further air and ground operations aimed at completely destroying all remnants of terrorists in the northeast. Now, Nigerian mining engineers and geoscientists are to be fully engaged by the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development in actualizing the objectives of the mining roadmap. Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamilekun Adegbite, stated this at the ceremony with geoscientists in Abuja.
The President, this administration, is trying to use this sector to diversify the economy, to create wealth, create jobs for our people. I would like the professionals in this industry to contribute their quota so that we can take mining to its proper place in the economy of Nigeria.
And now sports. Super Eagles unmoved in latest FIFA ranking. Details and more on our sports update with Kana Emma Abudike.
Nigeria's